So I mentioned that I had an idea for a Galaxy Quest sequel, and you guys wanted to hear about it, so here we go. Technically, there is a sequel to Galaxy Quest. They made a graphic novel a few years ago, but honestly, I wasn't a fan. I think the part about it that made it difficult for me to enjoy was the fact that the art was really bad. All of the male characters looked identical to each other. I couldn't track who was doing and saying what. And the plot revolved around Ceres's brother. So here is my idea for Galaxy Quest 2. As I mentioned in my very first video about this movie, this was made in a time where comic conventions were not cool. Where it was a place reserved for dweebs and losers, people like me. A lot has changed since then. So imagine we kind of open up in a similar way where we're talking about comic conventions. Now that comic conventions are cool, they're all doing a lot better. They're enjoying their lives as stars of this show. However, they start getting pushed out more and more for the younger, newer, fresher-faced sci-fi stars. Now, the movie would pick up immediately where this one ends. I'm not going to say where that is in case you haven't seen the original movie, but it would pick up exactly where this movie ends, with the US government loading the whole cast of characters into a windowless van. Basically, the US government was tracking the events of the movie. They've known about the existence for aliens for a long time, and now they need to get these people briefed on what to do next. And this is where we reveal that a bunch of different, sci-fi movies are actually based off real events that happened in space. The US government makes a joke about how George Lucas actually met a crashed Luke Skywalker and stole his story. So, kind of the opposite of Galaxy Quest. This would open up the humor and the parodying of sci-fi to more than just Star Trek. Now, after the opening scene where they all get carted away, the very next scene would be his funeral. Not because the character dies in Galaxy Quest, but because Alan Rickman died. I think it would be a great way to honor Alan Rickman, who is just amazing in the original movie. At the funeral, the Thermians show up again. Now, they're described as kind of the ultimate Trekkies, so they're kind of nerdy and goofy in the first movie. But I want the time that's passed since the first movie to they turned into real just tough warriors, and they've been saving the galaxy left and right. And now a new threat has turned its attention towards Earth. The US government wants to use some of the younger sci-fi actors who have been in movies based off real events in space, but these guys want to prove themselves one more time and save the world. I just see it as a fun way to play with the way that conventions were portrayed when the first movie came out versus now, and also older actors being pushed out by younger actors. Play with the relationships and concepts in movies and Hollywood in the same way Galaxy Quest did in the 90s. What do you guys think? Would you watch this?